Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. How are we all doing today? My name is Michael Shofoloe. A career advisor from Rome Business School, Nigeria, from the Career Service Department. I welcome you all to another BLDP Business Leadership Development Workshop. Thank you all for joining the session. And also, we also have our wonderful speaker here, the person of Mr. Essien Etuk. Thank you very much for accepting our invitation. Thank you very much. We also have our moderator here, the person that will be moderating and facilitating the section, the person of our student, who is also a student of Rome Business School, our student, Mr. Afeez Soremekun. Thank you very much for joining this section. To everyone on this section, please kindly rename your device if you know your device is not well named. Please kindly rename it to your own name, your first name and your last name, so we can be able to identify you during the question and answer segment. And also, if you know you'll be putting on your camera, kindly maintain a formal setting as this section is being recorded. And I know you won't want to meet yourself in the recording that, oh, your posture is not good. So I want you to maintain a formal sitting position if you know you'll be putting on your video. And if you know your device name is not well named, please rename it, because I can see someone here with admin. Kindly please rename your device to your own name so we can be able to identify you during the question and answer segment. And also, I want to you all to know that this section is being recorded and the recording is available, will be available after the section. So if you know you need the recording and the slide our wonderful speaker will be using, make sure you fill the attendance survey that will be sent during the question and answer segment during this workshop. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And grab your notepad and pen, because I know you'll be able to learn a lot from Mr. Ezen. Has wonderfully, he has prepared for us for this section, and I'm sure we'll be able to learn a lot from him. Thank you very much once again, Mr. Essien. You have the floor, Mr. Afis. Mr. Afis, can you hear me? Okay. Since Mr. Afis is not here, I'll be taking Mr. Mr. Essien Mr. Essien bio. So I'll be going with Mr. Essien's bio. So Mr. Essien is our speaker for today, and he will be the one taking this workshop today. Thank you, Mr. Essien, once again for accepting our invitation. So, Mr. Essien is a strategic operation executive with over 10 years of experience impact, scaling high impact logistics network across Africa. He specialized in leadership, supply chain, operations, and logistics. As zonal manager at Chowdek, he drives growth while managing extensive rider and vendor operations. As co-founder and messenger, he oversaw 3 million plus deliveries with telematics tracked fleets. He also excelled in franchise development, having scaled partnership and improved supply chains for multiple organizations. A mentor of numerous founders, he holds a degree in electrical electronic engineering and is actively involved in the profession and alumni leadership network, improving the ecosystem. This is really, really wonderful. Please let's show the emojis of clapping to welcome Mr. Essien, who will be taking his presentation. Thank you very much, Mr. Essien. Thank you. I'm sure you're fully prepared for us today. You have the floor, sir, Mr. Essien.
Thank you very much, Michael. You have done justice to this. Hi, everyone. It's great to be here. and I would really love to be a part of, passing on information, passing on mentorship, and whatever we can to upcoming founders, businessmen, and professionals as well. Because at the end of the day, even the businessmen need those entrepreneurs within their organizations to be able to scale. All right. So today we'll be taking what is coined entrepreneurial mindset, leadership for startups, and innovation. All right, next slide. Next slide, please. Over to the next slide. All right. So what we would want to unpack today is, first of all, myth versus reality, what the entrepreneurial mindset is really all about. The three core pillars of mindset that separates dreamers from doers. Dreaming is free. Like the slogan goes, if wishes were horses, beggars will ride. Leadership pivots from founder to CEO, being a founder is the dreamer, being a CEO is the doer. Like you need to understand the pivot at that point in time and to even recognize when you are at that point. Then you need the mindset toolkit where practical exercises will just give you like a nudge for you to just have quick inference on like, okay, where am I? What have I been doing? What are the things that I've tried to accomplish and how this can quickly nudge us to do what is expected of us. Next slide, please. Michael, the slide is no longer visible, but anyways, I'll just take it from my end. So here, just like, again, let me go over the introduction. Michael already did a fantastic job. I just want you guys to hear it from myself. So my name is Essien Etuk. I am a supply chain professional. I have over a decade's experience in logistics, operations, and supply chain management. I am currently a zonal manager at Chowdeck, where we provide on-demand delivery services to over 2 million customers in Africa. So I, I started off as the founder of Messenger, where we fulfilled, like he mentioned, over 3 million deliveries. We empowered over 500 delivery riders. We were able to ensure that we moved them from being logistic drivers to serial entrepreneurs with our asset-backed financing platform. And also now I mentor over 30 startups in the pre-seed stage, and I am very influential in startup ecosystems, logistics ecosystem, just making sure that we're able to put in systems that can work and systems that would make the industry sustainable. I'm very, very vocal in terms of policy. So I was also involved in the Startup Act, so in establishing the Startup Act and making it what it is today, just making sure that we give our own back in terms of opportunities, knowledge sharing, and just making sure that the ecosystem is properly galvanized. So yeah, that's it about me. So let's go quickly to the slides. The next one, please. Yeah, next one. So like when handling what is myth, what is reality, right? Next slide. What are the things that you have heard that sound true, but are not really true when push comes to shove, right? Myth one, like having go on, next slide. Good. So it's all about a brilliant idea, right? The truth of the matter is that everyone has a brilliant idea. Everyone, like you could just sit down wherever you are, think about it. Any industry you are, there is nothing new under the sun. The only thing that matters in reality is relentless execution. Relentless execution beats ideas. So even that's why you find out that even a silly idea, quote and unquote, could scale more than a brilliant idea, all because of execution. Next slide. Myth two, it's all about working 247. Oh, I have a brilliant idea. And since Essien said it's all about execution, let me just fill up my calendar from morning till morning working on that idea. But that's not it. Next slide. It's about strategic energy management. Burnout is a strategy fail. We always have to come to the realization that burnout does exist. It is not about sitting down, getting yourself busy for 15, 18 hours a day. It is about intentional strategic work on whatever you're building. Go to the next slide. Myth three, entrepreneurs are born risk takers. To be honest, like everyone came into this world without anything. So the next slide, like everything, it's about being calculated risk managers, de-risking through data, networks, and small bets. Like what looks like a wild risk to you is a calculated, data-driven bet by an experienced entrepreneur. That's just the facts. Next myth. You need to, next slide. You need to go it alone, right? And what's the reality? The next slide. Your network and your team are your core infrastructure. Like, it is always best to work with a team. Why? You might be the smartest person in the room, but you also need smarter people around you to be able to bounce off ideas and to be sure that whatever you are planning to execute on makes sense. You know, a lot of times, some of us build in our heads. And when you build in your head, you are the customer. So you are the owner of the idea, you are the visionary, and at the same time, you are the executor and the customer. That's just living in a bubble. You need your network, you need your team as your core infrastructure so that you are always sure that your ideas pass that stress test of a core team, right? The next slide, the core truths. Entrepreneurial mindset is deliberately cultivated. It's a cultivated set of beliefs, behavior, and not a personality trait. No one is born an entrepreneur. People become entrepreneurs. When they have decided to go on this journey, then they begin to develop beliefs, behaviors that aid them in becoming who they need to be to achieve what they want to achieve. That's just the core truths. Next slide. So we're going to go over the pillars, right? The pillars, the three core pillars of mindset that separate dreamers from doers. Pillar one, being solution, yes, being solution orientation versus being problem fixation. What does that mean? When you are solution oriented as against problem fixated. So for example, let me just give you a quick example. Oh, customers are not buying my product. They're saying it's too expensive. Why is it too expensive? Oh, how am I going to sell? Oh, today is already Thursday. I have not sold up to 100 million this week. My target was 500 million. What am I going to do? How am I going to do? Like, that is just being fixated on the problem. But whenever you find yourself in such a mood, all you have to do is look out for the solution. So a lot of times in business, when we're just discussing and you have your team members bringing up different opportunities. Oh, we don't have any sales. We just ask them to itemize it. What are the issues? We're not selling, low sales, maybe since it's logistics, bad weather, poor infrastructure, the road is bad, riders are not turning up, and all that boils down to is a problem. And problems do not help anyone move forward. So you have to be fixated on the solution. Next slide. What is the solution, right? Your mindset has to shift from analyzing all the problems that are going on to finding out what step you can take to provide a solution. You're not selling. What is the problem? How can I address this? What is the present solution that we can do? How can we sell? What do we sell that will move in that certain area? What city is not selling? Okay, if this city is not selling as much as we expect, what city would buy what we are selling? Like, always be in a solution provision mode. Like, it's very easy to be stuck in situation analysis paralysis. All you're thinking about is the problem. That is not it. Be a solution provider, problem fixation mode. That is what works in entrepreneurship. Next slide. So we've already gone, yeah, go on. We've already gone around the current situation, look at the problem, try and solve it as quickly as you can. You understand? So now let's have a quick exercise, something that you need to take down. So like, do the 72-hour test. Identify one persistent problem in your business in the next 72 hours. Speak to 3 potential customers about it and test one minimal solution. Action beats planning. I'll go over it again. Identify one persistent problem in your business within the next 72 hours. Speak to 3 potential customers about it or present customers and test one solution. This will enable you to enter the solution provision mode, problem fixation. Please, thumbs up if that's clear. Thumbs up if that was clear. Great, great, great. So let's go to pillar 2. Resourcefulness over resources. Next slide. Resourcefulness is the ability to find and use clever ways to overcome difficulties. Next slide. So it's all about being resourceful. Like, most times, you are not going to have everything you need to solve your problem. You are definitely not going to have it. Like, if you think that the solution to your problem is $1 million, you need to look inwards first and provide the resourcefulness from yourself. So my experience presently at Childec, we currently hit a huge milestone. We're able to fulfill about 52,000 deliveries in one day and deliver GMV of over 1.4 billion in 3 days. Now, this is coming from Childec, right? Our major competitors are more funded than we are. Yet, we're able to garner market share in Nigeria. Then this is just one of the examples to show that it's not all about raising money. It's not all about the resources in what you raise. It's about being more resourceful. Look at the strategies taken. The local content strategy, going down to figuring out how to deliver amala, while others were trying to figure out how to deliver KFC in a country where amala moves more than KFC. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. Being resourceful over resources, just understanding your market, applying resourcefulness, resources will come. So this is just like a live example of how resourcefulness beats resources. Chowdeck being number one in Nigeria, despite the closest competitor having raised 10 times more than Chowdeck. Next slide. So the fear framework in resourcefulness over resources. Find what you already have. Everyone here has a skill. I'll quote an example from the Bible. I'm a Christian. The parable of the talents. So unto one, 5 were given, unto the other 2, and unto another 1. But what was most important is that the talent given was utilized and not buried. So whatever talents you have as a person, you can even see from you have a team, you have team members, and you find out that, oh, you're the one that's best with numbers, reading your P&L, reading the cost analysis, your balance sheet and all that. You have others that are good at marketing, sales, advertisement and all that. Find what you already have and make sure you maximize it to the highest point. The next step is to engage your network. There's a popular saying that says, your network determines your net worth. And it's just what it is. Always network. Look within your network, increase your network, determine the people and communities that you should belong to, the people that you should be within their network. Utilize that in maximizing resourcefulness. Next step is to adapt to existing tools. I mean, like before you had Excel, before ERP, you have WhatsApp, before CRMs like Slack. Just make sure that you are moving with the trend. Just make sure you're as resourceful as you can and always take feedback. Always take feedback. Like whether positive or negative, it helps you put yourself in the right framework to be able to be a better professional, to be a better businessman. So find, engage, adapt, and recycle. This will help you in better framing yourself as the entrepreneur that you want to be. Next slide. So ask yourself, what can I achieve with what is in my control? Everything is happening at the same time. So in my context, sales are dropping, you're having problems with regulation, the government, your staff. What you should focus on when everything looks like everything is happening at the same time is this question. What is in my control? What can I change? Anything you cannot directly affect or effect should be secondary. What is in my control? Once you are able to list what is in your control, go after that immediately. Anything not in your control is not in your control, but you cannot drop the ball on what is in your control. Next slide, please. So pillar 2 is the disciplined optimist. Next slide. What does it mean to be a disciplined optimist? You have to have the balance, unwavering belief in long-term vision, and ruthless pragmatism about short-term challenges. So vision is what would first of all drive whatever business it is. But is that pragmatism in dealing with things that do not look like the vision that helps you achieve those visions? So why is this critical? Optimism attracts talent and investment while discipline ensures you don't crash. I don't think we need to explain this further. Optimism attracts talent and investment. Discipline ensures you don't crash. As founders, we get very good at selling a lot of dreams. Meanwhile, some of us forget that selling dreams is one part of the work, while actually being pragmatic, and disciplined about achieving those dreams is a huge part of it. Next step, leadership manifesto. Your job is to hold the vision steady while your team navigates the storm. As entrepreneurs, as businessmen, you must have unwavering belief, unwavering in your vision, right? That is the only thing that can stabilize, the team members, the people that you have under you, reporting to you, driving the vision, and just making sure you achieve it. So there's this weekly ground truth review where just for you to maintain this balance, number one, you celebrate one win. Number two, you confront one hard metric. And number three, you decide whether you are going to pivot or persevere. Do this weekly. So what does celebrating one win, what does it mean? What does it add to your business? What does it do for your team? That's what fuels optimism. That yes, we can actually set targets and get to it. Oh, this week we're going to do 100 million in sales. And you actually hit those targets. Like, this is just like a confirmation of your dreams. And you have to make it a point of call to celebrate it. There was a time I was speaking and I explained that some founders get to a point where achieving such metrics, achieving those wins almost become like relief instead of things you celebrate. And you should do your best as much as possible, having your head in the right space to make sure that you celebrate all those wins, because that is the only way to fuel the optimism, fuel the growth, and make sure that the drive remains intact. The next step, confronting a hard metric. Like, once you find out that something is off, you need to address it. It has to be addressed. That enforces discipline. If you have said that, oh, we must have a delivery time of 30 minutes average on each order, and you find out that even after celebrating your 100 million in GMV, you had 40 minutes as delivery time, you need to ensure that you enforce discipline. Address those metrics that were off. This should be done weekly again, because a lot can happen like, if there were a way for me to say do it every 3 days, but that might be overkill. But like, just set these metrics at weekly, because a lot can happen in a startup within a week. A month is too long. 2 weeks is too far. Every week, you check all these metrics out, and then you have to decide, pivot or persevere. Pivot or persevere. Is it working? Do you think it will work? You must decide, and you must own up to your decisions. Decide as quick as possible when to cut off. Decide as quick as possible if you're going to persevere, because you do not want to be in that situation where you are working and moving on vibes. Like, it should never be based on vibes. It should always be based on data. Efficient, accurate data. Oh, this is what we got. 40 minutes for this last week. If we get anything below or anything above 35 minutes for next week, we need to take a decision on whoever is responsible for this. That's how to hold your weekly ground truths review. Next slide. Next slide. Leadership pivot from founder to CEO. Like, remember, the founder is the one that sells the dreams. The CEO is the one that enforces pragmatism, discipline, and make sure that the dreams of the founder are established. And many a times, the founder is the CEO. So that's why it's an inevitable crisis. The skills you need for traction, hustle, product, obsession, and all that are not the same skills that you need to scale the company. Product, hustle, marketing, sell yourself, sell the dream. And, luckily, you now have people that have bought into the dream. Now you have to execute on the dream. And many a times, the person executing on the dream, quote and unquote, is not the same person selling the dream. It has to be a different person. The person has to be obsessed with systems. The person has to be obsessed with delegation. The person has to set the culture. When you realize that you are the bottlenecks of potential movement in your team or potential growth, then you know that you need to delegate or your team is underutilized. You cannot be the reason growth will stall because, oh, we're waiting for the CEO. The CEO has some fundraising meetings. He's not available to do this approval or to do that or to do this. Like you need the founder and the CEO, if it's the same person, has to know when to change hats. Next slide. So as a founder, the first CEO hire is you, obviously. Now you have to know how to go from doing the work to building systems that do the work. So like, for example, myself, I remember when I started and I was the accountant, the founder, I was the customer experience representative and also the operations manager. Like all in all. Because that's the era where you are selling dreams, you're building, trying to validate your dreams, validate it not just to yourself, but to everyone that you want to bring into the dream. And then you have to shift away from that, from doing like you are definitely the bottleneck for every system in the business. But then when you begin to grow the business, you have to start building systems. You stop managing tasks, you start coaching people, you start managing energy. So instead of you noticing now that, oh, this work was not done, what you now have to notice is why are reports coming in late? Is there a reason why the energy is low? How can we up the energy? What do we do to make sure that everyone is in the right frame of mind to achieve the set goals? That begins to be your focus. Now you have to set company culture. Do your workers come late to every meeting? Do they always resume late? Or if you're working hybrid, how do you track that? What kind of culture do you build up? And ultimately, the staff, the members, the team members of any company will act the way the CEO does. It's just like a cascaded effect. So you are the culture, you are the cultural strategist, you are the culture setter, you are the team tempo. You just begin to shift from being the doer to being the systems and culture manager. Next slide. So this week, also another task, you can identify one key recurring task that only you have to do. Document that process and delegate it. And make your new job to manage the outcome. Do not do that task. I'll take it again, and you guys can take this down because it is something you have to consciously do. Because for people that are operator mindset like myself, you have a tendency to always want to do things in your own perceived perfect way. But you have to consciously delegate. Like, even if you have to set it on your calendar, do not do this task by 8. Do not do this task by 9 because like I have a lot of that. And even myself, I'm still on learning on learning this because it just becomes part of you, especially if you are operations focused. But you need to delegate because that is the only way you can build your team. That's the only way you can build systems. If you're always doing the task, you don't get to build the system around the task. You cannot grow from being that operator to that leader. So for example, if you are always doing every task, you can't even, if you are in a career, if you are in a career environment, you can't even be up for promotion. Why? Because who is going to do that task when you leave? You always have to picture a world where whatever you are doing now, you have trained someone that can do it. So you are ready for the next step. This is another conversation entirely. Like you always have to train someone to do what you are doing so that taking you out of that place will not be a burden on yourself or whoever you are reporting to. Next slide. Mindset toolkit that you should start today, right? Premotem. Before you take a big decision in your business or in any other thing, imagine it 12 months later and imagine that that decision you took led to a failure. Write down why you think it will fail in 12 months. If you do this exercise, you're going to be able to uncover blind spots behind whatever plan you had. And you would even be well equipped and well prepared to answer to whatever challenges will come as you build whatever that decision is. So take your time. Okay, you have a big decision at hand. Oh, I'm going to move from asset heavy to asset light. Now sit down, think about it. Why do you think this is going to fail in 12 months? Or maybe the partners might want to hold us ransom and not do our deliveries anymore. Or maybe the drivers, since we're not paying them as core staff, like just sit down, flesh it out, flesh out all the reasons why it could fail and mitigate it. That's pre-mortem. Then the stop doing list. So every quarter, list activities that no longer serve your core goal and remove them from your workflow. Every quarter, list activities that no longer serve your core goal and eliminate them. You know, many a times when we start a certain project or whatever, we start out with some core activities that were useful when we started. But then as time goes on, you find out that, oh, that stand-up meeting that you set every day by 7:30 is no longer as useful as it was when you started. Remove it. You don't have to continue. Like, there is no reward for sticking with tradition. There's only a reward for efficiency. If it's no longer efficient to do that, take it out. That is the stop doing list. The next is curate your inputs. Who do you follow? Whose content do you consume? Who do you take advice from? Now, it is always advised that you should not take advice from people that do not look like where you are going to, no matter who the person is. If the person does not look like your future, do not take advice from the person. It's as simple as that. So you need to now curate like, who are you really listening to? Even content that you consume, you need to be careful at what you consume. Because at the end of the day, it's garbage in, garbage out. You cannot be better than what you consume. Like you can't. Whether you do it consciously or unconsciously, now you have to do it consciously. Like you cannot be better than what you consume. And it is what you consume that you give out. It's as simple as that. The next mindset you should be in is build a personal board of advisors. 3 to 5 people that you trust for honest feedback. Not like, as founders and businesses, like we're in the constant we're in the constant phase of selling, both things that are true, both things that are far-fetched, both things that are almost true. Get your 3 to 5 people that you always get and trust for honest feedback. That you can actually sell the reality of what is on ground so that you can get the honest feedback to make yourself, your entrepreneurship journey, to make it better. Build that personal board of advisors. Oh, you want to take a very huge decision? Let me talk to this person about it. Oh, I want to sell this. Let me talk to him about it so that I can know how I can get feedback from him. You need that. This puts personal checks and balances on the actions that you carry out. Next slide. The ultimate goal, at the end of the day, entrepreneurship is not just about building the company. It's more or less building yourself. Because you are not, like, you cannot, once you are not at a certain level, you cannot handle what is required for that level. The version of you that raised a $10,000 pre-seed cannot be the same version required to raise a $10 million Series A. You can't be the same person. So if you want to still be the cornerstone of that company you're building, you have to level up. Whoever you were that had the vision is not the same person that raised pre-seed. It's not the same person that can raise seed. It's not the same person that can raise Series A. You just have to level up at every point in time. So once you achieve a milestone, be rest assured that in your current capacity, you cannot raise the next milestone. You cannot achieve the next milestone. The person that delivered a thousand orders in a day is not the same person that can deliver 100,000 orders in a day. So you just have to always be in that mindset that, oh, this is what I just achieved. I acknowledge the achievement. I celebrate my wins. I cut out all the bullshit in what I in my business that I did. But to get to that next level, I need to level up. Do not go with the mindset that the same you that won today is the same you that can win tomorrow. Next slide. Next slide. Okay. Your legacy won't just be your products. It will be the people you empower, problems you solve, and the proof of what's possible you create for others. And to be honest, it's more about the people. The higher you go, you begin to see that it's more about the people than the company itself. Who are you building? Who can refer their growth to meeting you? Oh, I met him, and that's when I was able to get to this point. Oh, these are the things I learned because I worked with XYZ. You just have to focus on building people, building systems, and just ensuring that anything you're building, you have it in your mind that it's going to work with or without you. That way, your decisions will be clearer, the actions you take will be clearer. Next slide. So let me just recap before we take questions. Remember that the ultimate goal in entrepreneurship is not about building a company. is more about leveling up, building yourself, taking yourself from that level to the next level. The company is just the vehicle. Your mindset is what drives the company. Always remember the mindset model. This will be shared after this call. And start training it, Start knowing things that you should delegate, how you should focus on building systems and people and yourself so that you can just get to the point that you and your company want to be. Mindset is the muscle, right? So that's just what it is. Thank you guys for listening. And if you have any questions, comments, let's have it. So thank you, Afeez. Thank you, Michael.
Well, thank you so much, Mr. Essien. Well, that was an amazing session. Thank you so much for making time to break down practically every single thing that we need to actually move from the point of building a business, from the point of startup to the point whereby we have a successful business. Thank you so much for breaking it down. So sorry, everyone. I wasn't able to join at the start of the meeting. I was having some troubles. Thank you so much for having me as well. My name is Soremekun Afeez. For the sake of time, we'll be taking a few questions. So please, if you have some questions you want to ask, you can drop it in the chat box. And also, you could also raise your hands. So I think we'll be taking about 5 questions in total. I think I have Tijani hands raised. But before I take Tijani, please remember, guys, drop your questions in the chat box if you don't want to raise your hands, but you can also go ahead and raise your hands. So let's take Tijani first, sir. Mr. Tijani, please go ahead.
Good afternoon. Thanks to Mr. Essien for that very precise lecture and straight to the point. I don't have any questions, but my only observation that is that I want the slide to be sent to us so that we'll be able to. Hello? Hello, are you hearing me? Hello?
Yes, we can hear you, sir.
Okay, so that we'll be able to digest and practice it. So that's my suggestion. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much for that observation, Mr. Tijani. The slides, I believe the slides will be shared with everyone. And so please share with everyone. Also, please, as we go on with the questions, attendance is already in the chat box. Please go ahead and fill in the attendance just to show that you made you were able to lead the session. Make the session. So we're taking Uzodinma question in the chat box. We'll be taking that after that. After Uzodinma. Please go ahead, Uzodinma. Uzodinma, are you there? I see your hands raised.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. And thanks a lot to the resource person for the wonderful presentation. But please, mine is not really a question, but a perspective. I had wished that the takeoff of this lecture had been how to make a good choice or how to evaluate a good choice of an enterprise to venture into, why the chapter 2 is where we started today. Because I believe there should be some evaluations that might help one make a good choice of a business that he can drive.
Logging in what portal, man? It's your email, you will be getting the login details. It's a Google Meet.
Sorry, can you hear me? Can you hear me, please?
Yes, please go ahead, Mr. Zodima.
Yeah, so please, I think that there was a gap I missed from the lecture, like a foundation. If supposing for a startup, there are things, how will the person pin down? You have a 2, 3, 4 businesses you are looking at choosing from the one you want to venture into as an entrepreneur. What are the evaluations you may need to carry on those 4 possible options to be able to pin down to a particular one you might take off from, and then begin to apply the lessons we have learned today? I guess that point was missed out for a starter or somebody who is trying to conceive entrepreneurship. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Zodima. I'm not exactly sure there is a question there, but Mr. Essien, do you want to say something to this? Because I think he's also concerned about owning a business already, or some businesses that one can start doing instantly rather than just giving a general knowledge of how to run a business idea.
Okay, personally, well, I mean, like, at the end of the day, any business you put your mind to and you give it your all, it will succeed. That's my general belief. But when you take some things into consideration, I would advise that any business that thrived during COVID that was not affected by lockdown is one of the businesses to look into as a Nigerian looking for a sustainable business. That would be my advice. Any business that's still operational during COVID is an essential business and a business that will not be easily affected by policy, pandemic, and that's what you should look into.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Essien, on that feedback. So, guys, do business that will make sure that you're not in any way stopped by COVID or any lockdown whatsoever in the future. All right. So, before we take Damilari, we'll be taking a question from the chat box. This person is Sylvia is asking, what do you do when a leader abuses the word delegates? So that's for you, Mr.
Can you take that again?
Yes, sir. What do you do when a leader abuses the word delegates?
I will need more context to that. What do you mean by abuses the word delegate?
Well, I would think Silva means here that situations whereby there are some leaders that don't that give excessive work to their staffs. And in some situations like that, they will say they're delegating. This is the responsibility of the worker to do what they are given. But sometimes too much work can also mean abuse in some situations too, in some circumstances. So I would believe that's what Sylvia is trying to say here. If Sylvia, if you're here, you can definitely unmute your mic and say something about that. But I think that's what she's trying to refer to.
If Silva can speak, I would appreciate. If not, I don't want to answer a question she did not mean, you know.
Yeah, sure. Okay,
But if
Sylvia, if you're here, please unmute.
Well, if she can, so that we can save time. When you say, okay, maybe your boss
yes,
is giving you too much work, I think before anyone takes any job, there is an employment contract, and it is properly spelled out what you would have to cover. If whatever your boss asks you to do is within that contract, then there's no such thing as too much work. When or if your boss should include a job description that is not captured in your employment contract, you can always flag it. Like you can always flag it, and it's a matter of, oh, hi, I'm sorry about I cannot attend to this. It was not captured in contract. I mean, there are ways to be professional and respectful about these things. And you're open to doing it if there's an increased incentive to it. I'm just giving my own opinion, my personal opinion on how I would have approached it, right? Because at the end of the day, more work means they actually trust you to
Yeah.
execute on what is given to you. And I would even prefer that you actually do that work and just use it to build yourself. I know every employment should have like an expiration date. You are the employee, but you're also building yourself. You should have your own set targets. You go into a job, like you should know how long you want to stay on that job, what you want to achieve, how many years it may take you to achieve. It's not always best to get into a cranky position where you're angry to work every day. If you set in your mind that, oh, you're going to do this for a year or 2 years, it's easier to deal with whatever comes with it. So I think you should give in more to personal planning. Like, oh, I'm here for 5 years. Whatever happens, I'm putting in my all. I want to achieve this, this, and this. So like they're not just employing you without you having your own plan. You should have a deliberate plan when you go into any type of employment, any type of work you're doing, like you should know what you're doing there. So when the work gets up, like you should even be like, if you're there for personal development, then get developed in other areas. Get developed. If it's not in your schedule, just get developed. Like no knowledge is lost. And it's always better to be in the goodwill of people than to be remembered as the staff. Like regardless of every good thing you did one thing bad, and that's what they remember you for. So, like again, my advice, learn everything you can learn, develop yourself, give yourself timelines in each employment you take so that you know that you maintain focus and nobody is pushing you out of anywhere. You get out yourself. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yes, absolutely. It does make sense. I think Sylvia's hand is actually up now. Sylvia, you have just 30 seconds. Please, really taking this question for us.
Thank
Please go
you,
ahead.
thank you, thank you. Thank you so much. So, when you started talking, a call came in, so it disrupted my network, and I didn't hear what he said in the beginning. But what I mean is, what do you do when a leader abuses the word delegate? I will use my experience, my current experience in my role, and I believe that as a team or as a leader, he should drive the unit. But and as a team member, we have our various tasks and we ensure that the team's operation is up and doing. While as a leader, you also have your own role and your own tasks to do. So I believe that as a leader, you should also do that your own task. But this is a situation whereby he tends to now dedicate his own tasks to us when we also have our own tasks to do. And where we try to like guide him on how to, take up his tasks, he tends to turn it back to us to still do it, send to him, and he can now deliver. Meanwhile, we have our own tasks pending to do, and it's becoming overwhelming. And I feel at this point, he's abusing that word delegate, and he's not even leading as a leader or driving us, or or trying to drive the team as a leader. He falls back to us, relies on us to do the work for him. And he goes out there to say he did, without even giving us that, you know, accolade.
I mean, like, so like Siva, let me understand what the issue here is. Because okay, you are upset that your direct boss he takes credit for what the team does. Meanwhile, you say he doesn't do anything, but he takes all the credit. And funny enough, I've been in this school of thought before, but advocacy is is quite difficult. Like I would start by saying you should cut your boss some slack because executing on work and being an advocate in boardrooms is like is two different things. When you are on meetings like 10 hours a day, just being the advocate for the team, being the one to define, defend, describe what everybody is doing. It's not as easy as you think. Like I said, I have a heavy operations background, so I'm used to doing things. When you now move from doing things to being an advocate for those doing things, it's a whole different ball game. So, I mean, you might say that, oh, he's not giving you or the team members the credits, but the people he is reporting to 100% know that he's the advocate, not the executioner. I don't know if that makes sense. So the same way that we should also change our mindsets from being, you will not always be the doer. That is why I talked about building systems, building people. This is part of it. Because if we can only trust you to do, then we can't trust you to build. So just be doing. We need to shift our mindset from always being the one to do it and building people that can do it. That just has to be it, because there's more props in building a team that can execute than executing. It's just what it is. So again, I'll take it differently. Oh, what do I have to do to be the builder and not the doer in a race to get to the next level? Because it's all about capacity building. What it takes for your boss to keep defending and advocating and explaining and making it make sense to the general good of the company might be a lot more than you think. So just like cut him some slack, change the mindset, keep doing what you're doing, then start learning advocacy. Advocacy is not just doing, but being able to show and do, as against just doing and just, oh, I'm just facing my work, I'm just being excellent at what I do. You might just remain on that being excellent at what I do. So that's to go to the next step, which is, oh, I have to be able to explain what I do, be able to connect my efficiency to the greater good of the company and how it makes everything make sense. That's the next step. Then you begin to see things differently and you might understand your boss better. Just my opinion.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Essien, for those answers. So I think they're spot on, actually. Your mindset is actually very important here, Sylvia. Uh, yes, your boss might not be doing something you're happy with, but it's important for you to actually keep a very simple and honest mindset with your work and just do the best you can and advocate judiciously. Let's put it that way. So we'll be taking Damilare next. Damilare, please, you can go ahead and unmute your mic.
Good evening, everyone. So my question is regarding this issue of delegation of duty. You know, there are some times when you tend to delegate some aspects of work to your subordinates, but the way they do it at time and the time, you know, most times when you are working in an office, there's always a time frame for a task. But I noticed that when I delegate some of the work for my subordinates to do, I will still be the one to come back and do that particular job because of the fact that the person is not keeping to the time, you know. So I had several issues with her, but the only excuse she gave me was that she has a time, you know, that she has a time that she used to do her tasks, that the time frame is just too short for her. So I don't know what to do, and I don't want to be as if just to be like a boss that tends to impose on people, you know, so that we grow as a team. So is there any way I can what I can do just to help her or to encourage her to let her see that for every tax there's always a time frame. So you cannot be doing things at your own convenience. Do you understand? You cannot, because she kept on telling me that she normally have she normally takes time to do her things just to ensure that everything is perfect, there's no mistake and so on. And we've been on this issue for a long period of time. And because based on the fact that you cannot just use forever to do a particular task because there are other tasks are waiting ahead to be done. So I tend to do these things myself. So I don't know the way, what can I do to just ensure that she sees that there's always a time frame for tax, so that at least she just keep pace on what she's doing.
I don't think her, how would I put it? I don't think her actions are affecting you yet. Because if they were, you might have sacked her since. So if you need to submit a report by 4 and she hasn't gotten it to you by 3:30. I think you should set like targets, like whenever you give her the next job, right? If this thing is not here by 3:30, you are getting a query. And 2 queries equals sack. Because businesses should not be run emotionally. Like there should be a system to it. Like I won't justify you sacking her the day she doesn't bring it by 3:30. What was the process in place? How did you guys get there? What was she warned? Was she advised? So you need to make it clear. Like, oh, I need this thing by 3:30 every day. If I don't get it by 3:30 every day, this will lead me to. So, like, what I do to those are reports to me. I paint the bigger picture because I don't want to always, like, I want the next person to come up so that they'll be reporting to that person. So I paint the picture like, oh, see, if this stuff that you are doing is not ready by this time, this is what the company is going to suffer in the grand scheme of things. Oh, your job is to manage delivery time. Delivery time has to be 30 minutes. If I don't get 30-minute delivery time in the city of Abuja, the next person will not be so incentivized to order because he has seen that it will take him 2 hours to get his order. That way, the company is going to lose revenue from the next customer that we did not get. So we cannot grow. And then everyone is stunted. And before you know it, the company crashes because of your singular decision not to impose a 30 minutes delivery time on the delivery drivers reporting to you. So they get the big picture. This person does not get the big picture. This person thinks the world revolves around her giving an elaborate report that she must take her time. No, the world needs your report by 3:30. However you are, wherever you are, whatever your limitations are, that means you should start earlier. So you have to fix up and think like a boss and not just someone that does job just to get by in life. So it's mostly like a mindset shift. So you need people that own situations, that have higher agency. So when you tell them to do things, they take it as theirs. Now she's acting like, oh, if she needed to submit that report by 3:30 and get 100 million naira in her account, she will do it. She will do it. We don't even need to ask whether she's going to do it or not. She's going to do it. So we knowing that she will do it based on this, then she should have a higher reason to do things. So I think you should really like set rules and regs with commensurate punitive measures so that it's not you acting on emotions. You're angry. There's no need for you to be angry. Oh, it's not ready. Then your report, you just be like, oh, the person I'm working with is not as efficient as I need her to be, so I'm replacing her. This will never happen again. Those are the type of things like the people above you want to hear. They don't want to hear, oh, I'm very angry with her and I really shouted at her. What's my business if you shouted at her? I asked you for a report for 4. Your report is not ready, and you're telling me you shouted at. Is that you get? So it's all about just having high agency. That's just it. Like you need People need to have more ownership mentality about whatever actions, whatever jobs, whatever businesses they handle. You don't have to be the owner to have agents.
Wow. Thank you so much, Mr. Essien, for that. I hope Damilari, that answers your question. All right, so we have one more person with their hands raised. Before I call on her, there are some questions in the chat box. From Victor, it says finances. If we are liquid enough, do you think it kills motivation? I hope you got that, sir.
I mean, you want people to invest. You want people to invest in your business and you don't want to use your money. That means you don't believe in your business. You are the first investor of your business. You. So like your money has to be part of the money we are all trying to invest with. Do you understand? Like if you don't believe it enough to put your money inside, why should I?
Wow. Thank you so much, sir. Okay, so we're going to have Ogala now. Please go ahead, Ogala. Can you mute your mic? So we're taking one more question after this. Below me now.
Okay, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Okay, sorry, I just wanted to ask to add to the delegation issue. I think that before you can delegate responsibility to a certain staff, it's just like me adding something to it though. You should know the staff, know the area that the staff is good at. For example, if you want to give a staff a report to do using an Excel, and the staff does not really know anything about Excel or how to effectively use it, there will be a delay. The staff won't be able to effectively do that work that you're delegating to the person. So I think in delegation, you should know the staff to give a particular work to. Like you should know all your staff members, know the area that they are good at. So you should know a certain responsibility to give a certain, like a particular staff. Because if you give a kind of responsibility to a staff that the performance is not so high, there will be delay and the person will end up doing that work later
Why?
and
Sorry.
sorry.
No, finish, please.
Okay, like that is my thought though. I'm done.
Okay, my own question is why do you have a staff that is inefficient?
Okay, sorry. I believe we have different personality traits. So people are different. The staff can be good in other areas and not in that particular area. So in delegating responsibility, you should know, okay, this particular staff is very effective in this area. So that staff can do it and deliver at the particular time that you need that work done.
I mean, like, yes, I hear what you're saying. When you employ a staff for a particular role, that's the staff you are definitely delegating to. Like, why would I employ an accountant and delegate marketing to the accountant? So the fact that this person is who was chosen to be for the work to be delegated to, that means that's the person's core job. And in that situation, then there's a quality deficit, which means it's either the person levels up
Yeah.
or you need to just level up the candidate or the person in question. That's, yeah, but yes, I hear what you're saying.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, all right. Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. So there are two questions here in the chat box. I'm going to combine together, one from Othniel and one from Adapu. Okay. Okay, let me combine for Teresa and Adapu first. Teresa is saying, please, can you advise on some practical steps one can take to make a better version of oneself? Okay, I believe you have said a few things on this. And what are the practical steps to mindset shift? I also think this is also contained, but if you want to say something about that before we move on, sir, just briefly.
I mean, for the practical steps to mindset shifts, it's on the slides. You can just go over that and just, focus on those things that have been highlighted, right? Practical steps to leveling up, it just depends on what you want to do, what you want to be, right? So I always say, like, everyone needs to choose one thing that they feel they do well, or one thing that they are just convinced they want to do for, like, that's their calling. So for example, if, oh, I want to go in, like some people are like, oh, I love social media management. Okay. So what is the peak of social media management as a career? Probably VP marketing, maybe you're running your own business. Okay. So who are these people that you're aspiring to be like? Maybe you just take like 5 executives, study their lives from the stage you are in, the steps they took, and just take the steps. You 90%, 95% end up like them. It's as simple as that. Like, so simple, but yet so difficult.
Okay.
So again, I'll go over it. Pick one career, pick one business, whatever it is that you want to become. Check out those that have gotten to the peak of the career that makes sense to you. Pick 5 and just follow their lives. Do everything they did at every point, and you end up like them. It's 95% guarantee, if not 100, because you just garbage in, garbage out. This person did this, achieved this. I do the same thing and achieve that. That's what I would say, anyways. Then of course, certifications, build your network. Like every association, every whatever that has to do with that.
Thank you so much for those answers, sir. The question seems so simple, but at the end of the day, there's a whole lot involved in it,
Yeah.
in becoming a better version of yourself. So we'll be taking
Hello, good evening. Hello, good evening.
Good evening, Philomena. Please go ahead with asking your question.
Yes, it's rather a comment in respect of starting a business with other funds, other people's funds, and not your own funds. It's quite difficult. Speaking from the angle of financial service institution perspective, it's it's very, very, very difficult. Like the facilitator said, it doesn't show that you believe in your business. It doesn't show that you're serious about that business, and that is why startups most times they don't get funding. You know, you see people complain that they are starting their business. They went to banks and the banks refuse to fund them, refuse to start up with them. The banks want to see how far you go. They want to see what you have laid down. And then even after you have a solid business going, you want facility, then the bank also wants you to have your own equity contribution, maybe 20 to 30%. So it's very, very important you set up your own business. You see it like your baby, you have your own funds, you grow it, delaying gratification, making all the sacrifices to ensure that that business stands. And by the time you are projecting into the world for more funding, more expansion, whoever is going to invest, we see that a lot has, gone down, a lot has been invested in that business to make it solid, to make it grow to the extent where it is. So that's just my contribution to that discussion on starting business with maybe investor funds and all that. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your take. Mr. Essien, can we go ahead and take more questions?
Please, just 2 more questions. I need to jump off this call.
All right, thank you. I'll be taking 2 more questions. I will be starting with Victor. Victor.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Productive section here. I'm happy to be here. Thank you, Mr. Essien, for your input. Okay, so something quickly. I'm sure you have experienced that someone building a startup bootstrapping, because I'm currently doing that. But I'm trying to narrow down my focus. I currently run 3 startups in the idea stage and a little bit of actualization with some assets on ground. I currently run a real estate company, an agri-ed company of the offshoot of a family business, and also planning trying to create an agency a media agency that I'm able to push out my business ideas throughout and have my marketing and implementation covered. And I'm currently bootstrapping on the 3, but I'm having challenges with talent and being able to give out equity and adequate compensation, because without that, I can't really scale up or grow. And I can't really push my market into the funding stage here. So how do I focus on one business to boost me up and have something, a product that I know I have capital expenditure, and while the rest are still hibernating? That's just my question. And for also creatives, working with creatives can be quite challenging, and having to weigh the options and give out compliments and equity and adequate compensation, considering the peculiarity of the generation. That's my question. Thank you.
Can you narrow the question that you really want me to answer, so that I can just tackle that?
Okay, how do I bootstrap efficiently? Number 1. Number 2, how do I concentrate, keep 2 aside, and what do I put into consideration? Because I have these 3 currently bootstrapping and just struggling, and access to funds is quite challenging, as we all know it. So those 2 questions.
So, I mean, like, the first stage of funding is always the 3 Fs: friends, families, and they say fools. So you always have to go around your friends and family first. That's why they call it the friends and family round. As to what business you should focus on, I think it will be the one where you have the most expertise, where you are sure that if push comes to shove, you can do everything by yourself. That's the business you should focus on, while you can put the rest on ice. So when this grows to the point where you like it to be, then you can revisit the rest. Yeah, I think that's what I'll do. Does that answer all your questions? Am I audible?
Yes, you're still very much audible.
Yes, please. That answers the question.
Okay.
Thank you very much for your input.
Okay, so we're taking our final question. Please, you've been given right, Otner, to ask a question, please.
Okay. Thank you. Good evening, everybody. It has been a wonderful session. Thank you so much for watching us. I've dropped my question earlier on in the chat box, and also I'd wanted to comment on the question earlier asked concerning you delegating and then the subordinate not doing it, or doing it as at when she feels she wants to do it. So I just want to speak from experience. One thing I've realized is working with your subordinates happens to do with your kind of leadership style. Now, it depends on how are you delegating it. Are you the are you the type of leader that is autocratic, delegating it and making it look like okay, do this thing now, no, don't do it, So you find out that subordinates will tend to or disregard to your instructions or your delegations at times, even when you're doing it for the betterment of the organization, but they will try to see that they frustrate your efforts and doing that. But then I decided to, okay, be a transformational leader. Make it look to them that this thing I am delegating to you, it's something that it's also going to build your own capacity. Now, one thing with delegation I've learned today is the fact that it's building trust. So, me being a transformational leader, I'm in a way building trust in you and also helping you to see what you didn't see in yourself. So when you do it like that, you find out that, oh, these guys will begin to look at, so this is so I have these skills, and then my boss is looking at, my superior is looking at it, that I have the skills to do this. Or maybe possibly the person I've not seen or I've not known or I've never thought of, that he has the skills, or this is how you look at him, or this is the perception you have towards him or her. Now, delegating it as a transformational leader will not make the person now believes in himself. You've built that trust, and you find out that they are always welcoming, they're always eager to do whatever you delegate to them. That's my small sense that I wanted to say concerning that question. Then my question is, I wanted to find out. So there is a point. What's the thin line between a delegator and a micromanager? There are people that, yes, they want to delegate. There are others that will just want to micromanage you, even while they've given you a task. So if you're having a manager or a superior that is a micromanager, how do you manage that kind of person? Thank you.
I'm managing a superior as a micromanager. Like again, like I always think there are very polite ways to do this. Um, I'm not a micromanager, so you just need to request for your space, or just choke the superior back with the work that was delegated to you. Give them as many updates as they need. So, for example, let's say you are meant to work on something and maybe deliver it in the next 3 days. So you start giving the updates like every day. Oh, this is what I've done today. This is where we are. This is the next step, so that they don't need to bug you. Like, just be proactive about it. You don't like them trying to micromanage. Where are you? What have you done? What was the step you took? What was the response? Okay, so what are you doing about this feedback? Give it to them and choke them out of micromanaging you. That's like what I would advise, because resentment and you always getting overburdened, you don't need that. It just clouds your day. So instead, okay, you set your calendar. Since this guy wants to stress me by asking me all these questions, let me even get it ready for him. Okay, this is the step I took today. This was the response. This is what I'll be doing tomorrow. This is the step I took today. This was the response. This is what I'll be doing tomorrow. Like, just let him have it. He won't ask you because you're already sending him updates before he comes to you. So it's just about managing, like just managing people and getting way around it. Like no two people are the same. Some people even like being micromanaged. Some people like being told what to do part-time, while others don't, because, oh, I got to figure out, why are you following my every move? So just give him, like, okay, he wants 6 hours update. Give him update every 6 hours. Like, just ask him, like, oh, how frequently would you want me to respond or give you updates? Then when he responds, there's no way he can come and disturb you when it's not that time. If he says, oh, I need it every 2 hours, give it to him. Oh, I need it every 3 hours, just do it. But make sure you communicate, oh, how frequently would you want me to update you on this? So that let him with his own mouth tell you, oh, okay, no, you don't have to, or yes, please give it to me every day, every 12 hours, and stuff like that. So that's how I will handle it. I hope that was helpful.
Thank
Well, thank
you
you.
very much. Go ahead, Afeez, please. Go ahead.
Thank you so much, Mr. Essien, for those questions. Thank you so much for making our time. Really do appreciate you. Guys, please, if you do have any questions, you can always reach out to Rome Business School, drop your questions. They can always get it to Mr. Essien, and your questions you will definitely get response to your questions. So thank you so much for Mr. Essien. We have actually allotted exhausted the time that is allotted to us. So how about a few words of encouragement from you, sir, maybe to everybody, just to for us to go home with that, sir.
I mean, like, yes, this entrepreneurship journey it's a marathon, it's not a sprint. You just have to change your mindset. Just be fixated on being a better version of yourself on a daily basis. Like, you should always focus on improvements. Like, today I'm this, what am I going to be tomorrow? Just know that the way you start the year should not be the way you end the year. And you can easily measure your improvements. So, I mean, 2026 is coming. Start setting your goals. Please never get tired of setting goals, even if people feel that they may not hit their goal. Set it, just set your goals so that you have something to look at. It can be like a mirror saying, ah, guy, you're not doing what you're meant to be doing. No. Let the reminder be there in your head. It's good. So let's set our goals. Try to be a better version of ourselves. The way you start the year should not be the way you end it. Just always strive to be a better professional. And wherever you find yourself, whether a business owner or a career professional, always act with high agency. Act like the business is yours, because it's from behaviors like that that you get good recommendations. It's from behaviors like that you understand the value of how systems work and how people that actually call the shots feel about certain things that go on in the organization. So that is always the best way to act. Do not act like you are doing anyone a favor by working for them. So yes, I wish you guys all the best. I wish our ecosystem all the best, and Happy New Year in advance. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Essien, for a wonderful session. I'm already setting my goals for 2026. I'm finishing strong as well. So, all right, thank you so much, sir. So I'll be handing over to I'll be inviting Mr. Idowu Adeleke to speak on the RBSN programs. I believe he's on the call. So let me just hand over to Mr. Idowu. Thank you, everybody, for making our time. Thank you.
All right. First, I would like to appreciate Mr. Essien for the very insightful section, and then Afeez for moderating this section. So everyone that has participated in this, ask questions, give opinions, would also like to appreciate you for your time. All right. So I'm just here to speak briefly about Rome Business School. So first, in events like this, in webinars like this, it's very important that when you're joining, you rename your device so that when we have to send the slides and the recordings, we can be sure that we're not sending it to a spam user. So it's good you rename your device. So for those of us that are joining us for the very first time, it's important for you to note that. Again, you would agree with me that this has been a very insightful section, which gives you a feel of what it looks like to be in the classes for our master's programs. So currently we have over 16 master's programs here from Business School. And then we also have the doctorate program here also offered at Rome Business School. So if you're a prospect on this call, this is also a very good opportunity for you to reach out to your advisor, the personnel managing your application, to actually proceed with the application process and then be enrolled. Now, this is one of the benefits of you enrolling into the program as soon as possible for the April 2026 intake. The other is the early bird scholarship that was extended, and it's closing on the 20th of December. So if you want to take advantage of that, the prospects on this call, it is very important that you go ahead with your process and get it completed on or before the 20th of this month. For the slides, yes, you'll get it later this week or over the weekend, that I'm certain. Once you've taken the attendance, you'll be rest assured that you'll get it in due time. Then you joining now also gives you the opportunity for a very flexible payment plan, which you can also leverage on. So thank you again for participating. Thank you for your time. And I wish us all a wonderful evening. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Idowu, for that. So thank you everyone for being part of this BLDP workshop. Like Mr. Idowu clearly mentioned, the attendance survey that has been sent is what guarantees you for receiving the slides of this workshop. Remember, this is a workshop program, not a class, a workshop program. This is a BLDP workshop, and it's not updated on your VLE for some students that are here. This is a workshop program. In order to get the recording and the slide, please do well to fill the attendance survey. Kindly join us again next time for another edition of our workshops. Till then, we'd like to bid you a very good night's rest and bye for now.